Brought to you by 1AAuto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet.
Hi, I'm Mike from 1AAuto. I hope this how-to video helps you out. And next time you need parts for your vehicle, think of 1AAuto.com. Thanks.
In this video, we're going to show you how to replace the rearward adjustable track bar on this 2003 Chevy Monte Carlo. And it's the same part and similar process on these Monte Carlos from 2000 to 2007. And we show you on the driver's side, but the passenger side is the same procedure. And the items you'll need for this is a new rearward adjustable track bar from 1AAuto.com, 13, 18, 19, and 21 millimeter socket and ratchet with a piece of pipe for extra leverage, 21 millimeter wrench, 2 adjustable wrenches, a torque wrench, jack and jack stands, and a hammer. Start off by loosening these 19 millimeter lug nut caps, and then pull your hubcap free. Then remove these 19 millimeter lug nuts, and you want to loosen these while the vehicle's on the ground, then raise it and remove them the rest of the way. Once you have air-powered tools, then you can remove them entirely while the vehicle's in the air. Once the lug nuts are removed, pull your wheel free. And then you want to remove these two 13 millimeter bolts on the back of your brake caliper. Now pry in on the caliper, and this will push in the piston and make it easier to remove. Set that aside. And then remove these two 21 millimeter nuts. And we'll fast forward as Mike does this.
And you can see I use a piece of pipe for some extra leverage. You can use a pipe or a breaker bar for leverage.
Hammer in between the strut, and this will help loosen it up, and now you can just hammer those two bolts out. And we'll fast forward as Mike repeats the entire process on the other side. Spray this bolt with some penetrating oil, and you want to loosen up the bolt on the top of your track bar. Now just loosen up this 21 millimeter nut. And just use a 21 millimeter wrench on the other side. Jack up this center piece here that your track bars go into, and then remove these 4 18 millimeter bolts. And we'll fast forward as Mike does that. Now carefully lower that down. And then remove this bolt far enough back that you can pull the track on free. And now remove this bolt the rest of the way. Once that bolt's removed, your adjustable track bar will pull down and out. Up front is the old track bar, behind it is the new one from 1A Auto. You can see they're identical and they'll fit exactly the same.
You want to try and set your track arm preliminarily. Our original one is really not that damaged, so we go the easy route, which is just put a bolt through one end, adjust the length by turning that larger adjusting bolt, and then put another bolt through until they're the same. If your arm is bent or anything, you'll have to estimate it, and then you'll have to get your car aligned afterwards.
Then feed your track arm up into place and replace that bolt. Then replace the nut on the other side. And you just want to kind of tighten this preliminarily. You still want it loose enough to turn. Now push this back onto that bolt and push the bolt back through it. And then replace that washer and 21mm nut. And we'll fast forward as Mike tightens those up. And now just raise the jack to push this carriage back up into place. And replace and tighten up those 4 bolts. Now push your bolts back into the strut. Just hammer them in a little bit so you can get the nut on the other side. And then replace the nut and tighten those up and they'll pull through. Then you want to torque both of those to 120 foot-pounds. Replace your rotor. And then take your caliper and slide it back into place, lining up the holes on the back with the holes on the knuckle. And then replace those 13mm bolts and tighten them up. And then repeat the process on the other side. Now you want to lower down the rear suspension onto 2 jack stands, putting the pressure on the suspension, and then tighten up the top track bar bolt and the lower track bar bolt as tight as you can get them. And then using 2 adjustable wrenches, make sure the adjuster on the track bar is tight. And then replace your wheel. And replace the lug nuts and tighten them up. And you want to tighten those while the vehicle's on the ground, and then you want to torque each of them to 100 foot-pounds in a crossing pattern. And then replace your hubcap and tighten up those lug nut caps. and then you're all set.
We hope this video helps you out. Brought to you by oneauto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet. Please feel free to call us toll free 888-844-3393. We're the company that's here for you on the internet and in person.